Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what I was waiting on.
You'd think you'd been here before.
Shit.
Welcome, everybody, to the last
Hey,
ConCast of January of 25. It's the 29th.
25. Right at the end of that, does it say Thorazine or Dorothy? What the hell is it?
In the intro?
Yeah, the last word.
I think it's more along the lines of a Rorschach test. You know, you hear what you want to hear.
Oh, like kind of yeah.
So what I'd like to see is Dorothy on Thorazine is what you're trying to.
It could mean a lot of stuff. Then,
you know, and you know, as Freud said, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, and then as George Carlin said, and sometimes it's a big black dick.
Yeah, well, and you know what Bill Clinton said it was?
Tastes like chicken. What?
the dress looked blue.
Yeah, blue dress.
He blew it all over her dress.
Yeah, it was mum dick.
All right. Sorry, I was trying to make sure I could get chat up, and I sent you a trailer. I almost had you play the video you sent me earlier this week on the somebody made a music video out of the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. All the comments for the trailer.
Oh, did you like that one?
I like that. Yeah, it was pretty good. And then it came as soon as I watched it, it started coming over my feed all the time. But I thought they did a pretty with it.
I get their stuff all the time. They do some pretty funny ones.
Yeah. And I'm not going to bash Snow White this week because it's been happening for a year. But there's a little bit of news on that, and I got news on Deadpool and all sorts of good stuff. So we'll hit that up. What's
Kelly
up, dudes?
says, "What's up, dudes?"
Hey man, how you doing? I thought I had chat up, but I guess I did not.
I went ahead and just hit the show stream on that.
There we go. I'm on live chat now. All right. So let's talk about geekasms this week and all sorts of stuff. I will say, I will apologize in advance. I've been a little sick this week, and we've had, I think last week I mentioned we we're going to have a funeral and stuff. So I didn't get all the good news, but I got plenty of bad news to talk about. So
why do you seem more able to get the one than the other?
Because that's what comes across my damn feed. That's what everybody talks about. So when I have time to sit down and research, like I was on Marvel Wiki today looking up some stuff, and when I have time to sit down and research some stuff, no problem. But if I have to rely sometimes on like what's coming through the feed and checking up on that, it's almost always negative stuff. And
I don't think
okay.
It's what people are talking about. I think it's what the industries are pushing at us is the negativity.
Agreed.
Because remember way back when, it was like 5-7 years ago on Facebook, you could go in there and click, just show recent. All right. Which of course they removed that option, but you could just show the most recent stuff, just show the stuff that your friends have posted. And it went from doom and gloom to, hey dudes, check out this barbecue recipe. It's pretty cool. All right. And they didn't like that. They didn't like that people were able to actually filter to actually what they wanted to see instead of, pushing these echo chambers. Man, I sound like such a conspiracy theory person.
No, dude, and trust me, it's there. And I was about ready to throw politics in the mix without talking about politics because I don't want to go there. But since we've gotten our new president, when he is in office, just like last time, every day there is some shit to talk about. So it is across my feeds all the time.
Yeah.
But
the last time he was in office, I bitched all the time, that he was the president who went golfing the most ever. And, I just want him to go golfing right now and take a fucking break.
Yeah, it's a constant stream of stuff because I was like, well, I'll talk about him keeping TikTok and the thing and stuff for now. But even that, the news, every day there's new theories, there's new drama behind it. And I'm like, it's not going to be worth keeping up with without sounding like you're an idiot until the dust has settled, I think.
Dust has settled. So 2029?
Possibly.
Jesus.
No, it's that I'm sure they'll get the TikTok stuff here worked out.
Actually, I have I have a little bit of news on that
Yep.
one. Yeah, let me pull that up over here.
Well,
The
before we do
latest that
news,
I've seen is that President Trump disclosed to reporters on Monday that Microsoft is in talks to acquire TikTok and that he encourages a bidding war for the app. Microsoft declined to comment, and TikTok and ByteDance did not respond to requests for comment. So normally, if there's nothing going on, they say, no, that's nothing. But if they say, yeah, we're not going to comment, that means there might be some validity to the statement that they're not ready to make a statement on yet.
See, and last week when we were talking about it, last I knew, even though they were talking like Mr. Beast is looking to buy it, Elon Musk is trying to buy it, all these senators are getting together to try to buy it. Last I heard, it still wasn't even for sale. I mean, is that where we're sitting now? Is it now somehow miraculously for sale, or
it's not publicly for sale?
Okay.
This is going to be one of those things, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be one of those things because there's too many people that want it. There's too many, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, hell, even Sam Altman, I think, has put in his hat on that one. There's just too many. There's too many agents out there that want to get a hold of it, that have the ability to broker the deal in a back room and not in the public.
But it would only be for the American version of the app, right? It wouldn't be for the whole.
It would, but that is right now the lion's share of money coming into ByteDance from it is from the American version, because even though we're mountains in debt, we are just some spend happy people, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, I think that's the whole world, isn't it? Short of maybe China.
No, not as much as we are.
Really?
Not as much as we are. There's the reason that, everybody tries to break into the U.S. market, because we spend money frivolously. And I mean, how much of your social media feeds are just filled with the most inane plastic pieces of crap that they're trying to sell to you?
Oh yeah, that's why I started printing my own pieces of plastic.
I know.
Crap.
I got my own plastic crap going.
Speaking of which, did you get that little thing I tagged in where somebody was buying all those Star Trek models?
Yeah, I did, and I responded back that don't worry, my little fleet's not up for sale yet, but one day I'll be selling those too.
I figured it was somebody we mutually knew, because sometimes I don't know even who's on my feed.
I looked it up in the person who posted that she purchased it. Mm-hmm. That you tagged me in. She's in D.C., Washington, D.C.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
It's for those listening. It was just a table full. It looked like Ash's office back there. It was just full of enterprises and birds.
Oh yeah.
And
it was a whole little fleet of 1/1000 side one, and some 650s and 350s, 537s up there. No 350s though. I'm a nerd. Sorry.
350 would be pretty big, wouldn't it? Shoot, still.
A 1350 Enterprise refit.
A 350, that would be like my living room, I think.
Yeah, no. A 1350 is about 3 foot long.
Okay.
Matter of fact, to give you an idea, because I have some that eventually I'm going to put together. So hold on a second here. La 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 la. Talk. I spin around.
Watching. Look at that butt. All right.
It's the sweet ass. I know. This is a 1350, and this box right here, inside here, this is the diameter of the saucer section on the ship.
So, okay, that's what I was wondering, because I was going to say, for those looking on the or listening to the audio version, that looks like it's about 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet.
No, the saucer section is, hold on, that's 12 plus, is about 16.5 inches wide.
Oh, wow.
So, 41 millimeters for those who don't use Freedom units.
Well, before we get into our geekgasms and our news, I want to ask how your podcast went Sunday. I did not get to watch. I was with friends.
Oh, sure. It went pretty good. I mean, we started late because we had, of course, as you well know from when you start a podcast for the first time, teething issues.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Sean. And so Sean can contest to this. We started a little bit late, but we had a good little chat on there, and we went ahead and used Riverside because we were having issues with the Microsoft Meet. I mean, with the Google Meet.
Yeah.
So we did that.
Now it could be just because you're doing all the work, but I've had better luck with Riverside than I have most of the other like Google Meet and stuff that I've used before.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, this, well, keep in mind with the Google Meet and stuff like that, we were using free, and you get everything you pay for.
Yeah.
But here, like with if I'm talking shop here, the Riverside, I've noticed that they've done things as they progress where, if you remember when we first started, Gannon, for one episode, he popped on and he was our little producer in the background and doing producer things. Well, now they've taken that from the lower level that we subscribe to. They've actually locked that behind an even higher paywall now because apparently too many people found it useful. So let's lock that bad boy up.
Yeah, if it's useful, we can charge money for it.
Yeah.
So,
but no, it does pretty good. It allows us to live stream to multiple setouts. So like right now we're live streaming to Facebook and to YouTube, and we could also live stream to X and Facebook. We could, Facebook, we can tie that into Instagram as it is, but we could go to X. I think there's also capacity for Twitch and stuff like that. So there's lots of possibilities for live streaming. And plus, in the background, when it comes to doing the after recording, editing, and production stuff, it's all done online. You don't need to have an editor on your system, and so it's not dependent upon what your system can do. It's all done offline, and there also is some AI functionality in it too, where you can go in and have it automatically redo your audio levels, clean things up. It'll even go through if I wanted to and find all the pauses and cut them out. Any pause over a second and a half, it'll cut out. Any of the if you get more aggressive, it'll cut those out too, and end up shaving a decent portion off of your feed if you want to cut out all those little things. Plus, it will automatically go ahead and create little shorts. So, if you wanted to create little shorts, so you could, put those up like on the TikToks and stuff like that. It'll make those as well and redo the aspect ratios and everything so it'll all match up right.
See,
so it's got a lot of functionality.
I got to take the time and look into the Riverside a little bit more. Maybe it's some stuff I could use because we're planning on getting together and doing some WAGs videos here for too long. And it'd be nice to have a new outlet to try to take advantage of like that.
Riverside's really good, but Riverside is mostly geared towards like us right here doing interviews and doing podcasts and stuff like that. That's what it's geared towards. If you're actually out there filming and then putting stuff together, I would not suggest that. I would say just go ahead and just get your standard CapCut or something like that to do your video editing with for that.
Yeah,
but anyways,
I know we're looking at doing some game show kind of stuff, but with people that are like in St. Louis or California. A lot of our, because not a lot of our performer friends, even though we have them here in Kansas and we have plenty of them, there are people we've done stuff with 1,000 times. So it'd be nice to be able to reach out and get some of those people from out the way.
Yeah, and the only real constraint that I would say for this, hey Roberto, the only constraint that I would say for this is that even at the free level of Riverside, you only get just a little bit of time for recording, multi-track recording, and at the one step in paid level that we're at, we only get 15 hours a month that we can do these recordings. So, us doing an hour and a half 4 times a month. Yeah, that feeds in just fine. Yep. And then I'm able to leech a couple extra hours off to throw into the Star Trek stuff when you're not. But
gosh, you're doing all the damn work. What do I care? Yeah.
Yes, Roberta. CapCuts is the devil, but a lot of people, that's all they know because that's the main one that people use for TikTok.
Well, and I get in that case too with these printers and everything else. I start using one program and I don't It's like, oh, I'll start even that other program you sent me. I still haven't started using it yet. But
Yeah, I'm still a huge fanatic for Sony Vegas Pro.
Yeah.
But not any of the new Sony Vegas Pro. I think they reached their apex on Sony Vegas Pro 17. Then after that, they got sold off and they crashed and burned. And right now they're just riding on the coattails of what used to be a great system, but now it's just completely utter garbage. So I refuse to pay for any of the newer ones.
So what are you using now? Still Sony Vegas Pro or
Sony Vegas Pro 17?
Okay, making sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's hit these geekgasms. Do a little chit and chat. And I know we're gonna watch the new Winter Soldier trailer. But I'll just look to Cookie. Do you have geekgasm this week?
Man, I've worked on my game all week long. So not really. So, I mean, it's the same shit I vomited last week. I mean,
I know how that works. Say that. Sometimes I go, I hate saying 3D printing. Say, it's like, yeah, look at this new thing I printed, which I printed plenty of stuff this week, but I just,
oh yeah,
it's not getting painted. So
I don't have much. Like the same model that I was working on last week. What little time I've had to work on it, I've done that this week, and I've gone a little overboard on the wet sanding and the dry sanding. I took it all the way down to 7,000 grit from where I patched everything up at. I know, but I had them. Basically, I actually I bought these collection of. And here's the thing: if you're ever doing any kind of modeling or anything like that, purchase beauty supplies, because those little Vietnamese ladies are not going to overspend for anything. So if you buy anything that says modeling on it or anything like that, you're going to pay out the wazoo. But if you get sanding files for fingernails, you better believe those things are cheap as shit. But if the same files, if it says modeling, you're going to pay 3 times as much. So
I preach that forever, and I was just talking with my nephew earlier this week about it, because like a lot of the paints you get, and everybody's like, oh man, I'm going down to the Games Workshop to buy a bunch of, and then they come $100 later, they got 3 paintbrushes and 3 bottles of paint. It's like, well, you don't have to buy the shit that magazines and the YouTube channels are telling you have to buy.
Now, don't get me wrong. There's ones out there that I absolutely swear by, like the Vallejo and the Tamiya and Army paint. I really love those, but those are relatively cheap. Your standard eyedropper size of Army painter, which is, Christ, how many fluid ounces in here? 0.6, I think it says. Yeah, 0.6 fluid ounces, 18 milliliters. $3-4, $3.50.
Yeah, and that's reasonable.
Yeah, but reasonable. if you go Games Workshop for this, move that decimal over. All right, just chunk it over one space. There you go for Games Workshop. And the thing is, if you're buying the higher quality, not the higher price, but the higher quality paints, for airbrushing, it's good because they're ground up a little bit finer and they won't clog your airbrush as easily. Whereas I also have some, basic folk art paints. Those are not really. They're not really good for airbrushing.
They my airbrush up something fierce.
Yeah, what you need to do is, and I do this on some of my stuff. Before you run it through your airbrush, run it through a sieve, a little strainer, and pull out all those big chunks. You got to do that.
I went and bought just some direct airbrush paints.
Oh yeah,
it works better.
That's what I got for my airbrush. Unless I need a specific color, that's usually what I use.
Yeah,
but I'll use the folk art stuff for 3D prints
brushing
all the time.
For brushing, yeah.
For brushing, they're great.
Yeah.
Now, Army paint, do they put out inks and washes too?
Yes, they do. Matter of fact, they also do dips. All right.
Cool.
They like a whole little, not quart. Yeah, little pint cans. All right. That's designed in their whole multi-step process for you just to take your miniature and go dunky in it and just get that wash done.
Wow, that'd be nice.
Yeah,
be nice. Yeah, because inks and washes. I mean, the Games Workshop stuff. although the quality's great, but the price fucking sucks.
Well-
But I remember when we first were reading White Dwarf and they said for inks and washes, just water down your black.
There it is. If you look at the original like Road Trader book, it's like, here's how you can take a deodorant bottle and turn it into and here's how you can, and it told you all the shit to do to avoid pain. And then now they're like, don't you dare do not buy it.
Yes.
So
No, like one of the things,
it wouldn't be a podcast.
Oh yeah, we got to. One of the things is, it took me the longest time to find any information on how to use panel line set stuff, which is basically just a wash with a fine brush to put it in to get those panel lines to pop. And so finally, I was able to do enough research and figure out how to use them. So I put together a little video out there for people on how to do it. But the thing that you have to realize is, like, these panel line accents. Here's a Tamiya black. Hold on. Tamiya black panel line accent color. The way that you do this is you paint. I use acrylic, so I do the acrylic on my model, and then I will spray a lacquer clear coat over the top, and then once that's all dry, then use this because this is an enamel. So you can't use, when you're cleaning up afterwards, because you're always going to have a little dribble or a little overspill, you don't want to use an acrylic thinner. You don't want to use a lacquer thinner. You have to use an enamel thinner. And so if you go ahead and seal up your miniature or model with a lacquer clear coat first before you do the panel accent or the line accent stuff, then you can go back in with an enamel thinner and pull off what you don't want, and it won't damage your paint job underneath. That took me a while to figure that one out.
I've done that very same thing. Only I'll just grab depending on the thing, but there's been plenty of times where I've got something painted and I want to give it all a good wash and go back over it with highlights. I'll just spray it all down with a clear coat and then do that, because if I fuck it up, I could literally wash it off.
Exactly. It took me a while to figure it out, because I was putting it on there, then trying to take off the excess with an acrylic thinner. That wasn't doing shit all. And except for I wasn't putting down the clear coat first. It wasn't doing anything except for removing the acrylic paint I wanted left and leaving the panel line paint that I wanted removed. It took me a little while to figure it out, a couple models, but that's what that's the reason I started off on the cheap Revell, like Messerschmitt, 109 and stuff like that. Stuff like that you can pick up for like $10 and just mess it up.
Yeah, think of the days when we all started off with tester paints back in the day, and we did plastic brushes,
and ruining a good sable brush with tester paints.
Yes, we just didn't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Oh man, my first Millennium Falcon just looked like it went through a clown factory explosion. It was horrible.
Well, you see it every time you go. Somebody goes, "Hey, I'm starting out in Warhammer," and it's nothing bashed on people. It's just it's those rookie things, but. All the time when people go, oh, hey, I've started tabletop gaming, I want to show you my miniatures. I would say about half of the time, that's what it is. Somebody's got some kind of tester or some kind of enamel paint. They thought, I got to go pay a little more for something or whatever. And it just, they haven't started any techniques. And you got to sit there and go, oh, it's really good. Let me give you some hints.
Yeah.
I remember my first Space Marine, black line the armor edges, and paint drying on my brush because you're putting so little on before I could get to the next leg, then I have to wash my.
Well, we used to sit in a restaurant and we'd paint like on our breaks, and it's like, oh, I don't have anything to put on the base. I'll put a little glue on it, go grab some oregano from the kitchen.
And then as it gets old and dies, it'll just be like fall,
just all brown and nasty.
I remember the first gaming table we did, I glued sawdust down on the whole fucker, and we dry brushed the sawdust with different colors of green. It looked good.
Sweet. I've yet to get into the dioramas. That's one thing I want to do.
I used to really like them, and we would take, like, I think any old Warhammer player or anything would go, oh, you'd remember finding like chunks of styrofoam, like a stereo would get, and you just go, that's a great bunker, yeah. And just paint it up real quick, and even hit it with a little spray paint so it eats out and looks like it's got battle damage and shit, and toilet paper rolls, all that. Now you can just go to your 3D printer, push a button,
and have something that looks incredible.
I go down to the pallet store and grab a bag of toys for $2 or something. But yeah, now there's so many options.
There are, but that's the problem is I've been looking into the terrain that you can, purchase the files and download and print.
Yeah.
And predominantly 90 to 95% of them are all your basic D&D, medieval type.
Yeah.
And you're hardly getting any modern or futuristic or cowboy or any of the other, things that you might want to throw in there. You just can't find hardly any of it compared to the sheer amount of D&D ones.
Right. And there's a lot of stuff out there too that's not even made for gaming that you can just resize and rework. I mean, hell, I think we used to use shit off at doll houses. I don't know how many G.I. Joes and Transformers I destroyed making Warhammer shit.
I'm telling you, if you're looking for sorry.
Oh, sorry. Oh, he's just saying
wedding cake fillers. Used to make temples out of them all the time.
Oh, that's great. No, I was going to say what I found was a interesting, if you're looking for like 1/350 scale or something like that, humans and stuff like that, there are so many files out there for train enthusiasts.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And so you can print those off, mostly resin print, but you can print those off. Although I have to say, because apparently a lot of those train people are European. Europeans are really into their model trains. All right. And a lot of them are German, which means it leads to some very interesting model figures that you can pick up. It's amazing the number of figurines of sunbathing people, because Germans are really into taking a sunbath.
What this I did not know.
Can't you alter the scale on those with your 3D printer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can scale it. Just run figure out your math on it. If it's this size at 350 and I want it, at 72 scale or whatever, just figure out how big it's supposed to be and then just stretch it in the slicer.
I'd say half the stuff in this room I've rescaled to a different size.
Would be really good for some of those training.
And I'll apologize in advance, Ash. Every once in a while, you're out of sync. Your mouth's moving different. So I think it's my internet connection. So if we're talking over you every once in a while, it's not intentional.
It's understandable. Yeah, you're because that's the thing. Another thing about Riverside, for those who are wondering, Riverside, for the initial recording and streaming, it does basically like a low. Oh, here, let me. Yeah, Kelly said something. It does like a low level, like maybe not even 720, like a 460 or whatever, quality image coming through here. But then after everything is done, and John and Tim will attest to this, I'll go ahead and say, okay, now stay on just for a minute while the upload finishes, and then all the high quality stuff that was recorded either at 2K or 4K or whatever our cameras are capable of, that stuff gets uploaded. So when I go through afterwards, the things that I'm editing afterwards for finished product, not a live stream, those have a high quality and the high quality audio, and this won't go through, and the way that you're all pixelated to me, that won't be seen and stuff like that.
Kelly had said, see, gotta put my glasses on now. Kelly had said, just saw this week someone made a 3D printer dinosaur that was never released. It's huge, from the Masters of the Universe line.
I figured he was going to be safe.
You got to send us the link for that, Kelly. You got to post that link up in the feed. We got to see that.
I love life-size stuff. Like I've got the Terror Dog head here, but I'm working on a life-size Mouser from the Turtles. A guy online I've talked about before where he's doing all the robots from Futurama life-size.
I've seen that.
Last I saw, he finished Bender and the Robot Devil. But they're 4.5, 5 feet tall, whatever.
Wow.
And that's not going to be the one that impresses me. The one that's going to be impressing me, because you don't think he's as tall, but he's actually much bigger. If you take into account horizontal space, he is a bot.
Yeah. Oh, God, that would be huge.
Who?
Hayden this bot, the one that sits on the couch.
Oh, yeah.
Does the grapes.
Oh, yes. Oh, he's laid back. Oh, stop it. Have me, please. Got him.
Wow. That's
pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
I like Futurama.
Watch that, touch yourself.
No, I don't need to watch that to touch myself. I usually do that in the shower and cry.
Now I'm gonna cry thinking of you doing that in the shower.
Now I go take a shower thinking about you doing that in the shower. Man.
I was gonna
All
hit
I'm
my
saying is I use powdered soap because it takes longer to pick up.
Yes.
My geekgasm literally was when I'd mentioned last week we were gonna have a funeral this week. It was one of our
That's your fucking funeral.
no, it wasn't at the funeral. It was one of our old friends from that we hung out with in high school and college and stuff. Actually, we hung out with her. She had passed, and her husband was there, but it was all our gaming group from back in the day. So we got to hang, tell stories. Everybody was trying to lighten up moods. So of course we're telling party stories from back in the day. We're telling gaming stories like crazy. And then we did the viewing of the funeral. So we were all hanging out, and like I got to go to friends' houses that I haven't been to their houses in a while and see. Since we've been talking so much gaming, it got everybody kind of worked up. So like I got to go see gaming, Kalen's gaming setup at his house, and all his sons Ukrainian miniatures, and everybody's continued to game, just not with each other. So it was really cool to like go to other people's houses, see what they got going on, share those stories that aren't the same freaking stories that we all, did back in the day.
If I'd had a 3D printer when we were gaming back then, I'd have dropped out of fucking school.
Oh yeah. Well, then again, we would have been the only ones with 3D printer. I would have taken it and made some fucking bank.
Yes,
not everybody can just get on. So, but it's also spurred up. Like I did talk to Kalen about the GURPS thing, and it's really spurred up that everybody's planning on getting together. We're going to try to start getting together like once a month and play something, just to because it's that core group that you grew up playing with. That you're always like, you play with the guys I grew up with,
Just don't suggest GURPS to him because he disappears.
Yeah. Well, he's on board with the GURPS. Hang on. So you're saying it looks better for a replay crew, Kristen said?
I don't understand that one.
That might have been from conversation before I jumped on my geekgasm. I'm sorry. But anyhow, yeah, that was just it. So other than that, we've been able to start getting caught up here because the weather's getting better and stuff. So it's been nice. We're planning on doing some gaming this weekend. Yep.
Yeah.
So you want them down?
Now me, let me see. We did I've been working on the model. Sean and I did the first Boldly Trekking podcast this weekend. And this last weekend, we're going to do another one this Saturday. And other than that,
same old.
It's just the same old, just plowing through this shit and plastering on a fake smile.
I don't know if you heard right before you said that. I said, if you'd like to come down and test play Tim's game this weekend,
I would. But what time?
Because Saturday. Currently, we're looking at 7 o'clock.
Well, Sean and I can talk about some timing. I mean, we can either switch it to another day or, go to another time. That's one of the wonders of a new podcast is nobody's really locked into a time yet because, it's new.
Yeah. Well, Berto says solitaire. 5 dudes live streaming themselves individually playing solitaire. I gotta be on it. Oh, Kalen's on now. We were just talking about you, and we're done talking about you now. Nice timing.
Now, Roberto, with the solitaire, I've often heard that, the old saying, if you were stranded on a deserted island, what one thing would you take with you? And the best response I ever heard to that, because you're stranded alone on a deserted island, someone said, I'd take a deck of cards. And they're like, why deck of cards? It goes, because I'd start playing solitaire. And sure enough, within about 20, 30 minutes, someone's going to come up behind me and go, you can put that red jack on the black queen, and I'll no longer be alone on the island.
That's better. I did always like the one we use in the show, which is I would bring a boat. Yeah. It's fucking, to me, but all right, let's hit some of this news and stuff going on this week.
Well, and I'd like to point out that it didn't help the people on Gilligan's Island.
No. But that is how they ended up getting off. They built a boat, right?
Well, they built a boat instead of fucking fixing a 3-foot hole in one. But
I know they had like a cabin on it and everything, and yeah, I never got how they couldn't fix that boat.
Because it was a plot device.
Yes.
Let me see. Let's see what other news I have here. Here's an interesting one. Atari as a limited edition asteroid watch with which tells time with orbiting spaceships. Hold on a
Oh,
second.
okay.
I'm going to bring
Yeah,
it
you're
up.
gonna say you can play Asteroid on the phone or on the watch.
But
That's like
blind.
I had that back in the 80s.
Yeah,
I had
fucking
we play like Galaga on your phone or on
Hold
your
on.
watch.
Screen like this one, because this one is here it is. Share. Look at that bad boy.
So let's see here. For those listening on any kind of audio version, it is
It is a circular watch.
oh man, it
with
doesn't
a
look
full,
digital at all.
it's a full LCD screen on the digital watch, and using the winding knob on the side, you use it to play a full-on game of Asteroids on it from Atari.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I like it. I mean, really, we all have phones in our pockets with fucking. Yeah, it's the novelty of it, though.
yeah, that's what it is.
Good.
It's novelty, and those, for those of us who are really, smitten with watches, that's a novelty watch.
Did it say what that cost?
Did they say what cost? Okay, created in collaboration with watchmaker Nubio, which previously released a collection of Space Invader themed timepieces. The new Asteroids collection features 5 styles, each with a different colored band: Nebula Blue, Plasma Pumpkin, Supernova Red, Nova Nightfall, and Celestial Citrine. A variety of colors for the watch face elements. They're available through Nubio's website, which lists each watch price at being discounted to $500 from $1,650.
I remember you could buy a whole stand-up fucking video game for $500.
I remember
those colors, man.
could,
I mean, which I hadn't heard half of those colors.
Yeah.
I
Somebody
remember when
made
you
those.
could get a house painted for that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And really, the age group or the people buying that were not alive when Asteroids was out.
No,
Well, I don't know.
because that keys on to nostalgia. 2 things:
Yeah.
nostalgia and disposable income, which is
That's us.
That's ours.
Yeah. We say disposable income.
Yeah.
I like. So what was the
I'm
cheapest
thinking about-
Riverside?
Yeah. I'm thinking to myself, what's the last money I threw away? I mean,
That was today. Let me see. What else do I got? All right, here's an interesting one. Copyright Office.
John, you know,
Sorry.
Go ahead.
we're both blind. You look really bad.
Well, my I don't have the brightness turned up on the screen. I need to fix that. Sorry.
Let me see, where was I? Copyright Office offers assurances on AI filmmaking tools. The U.S. Copyright Office declared Wednesday that the use of artificial intelligence tools to assist in the creative process does not undermine the copyright of a work. In a 41-page report, the Copyright Office also reiterated that human authorship is essential to copyright, and that merely entering text prompts into an AI system is not enough to claim authorship of the resulting output. So basically, they're saying that you cannot copyright just AI output. There has to be human input into it.
That makes sense because we've already had a number of lawsuits based on that, where people have created an AI song or something that's been used, and so yeah, that's good that they got somewhere with that.
Yes, very much so. Let me see here.
Really anything something close that's AI generated is
Free to use.
free to use.
I don't know. To me, it is not that I want to jump on that AI thing either too much, but
we're going to.
so much of the stuff that's come out lately, my wife and I'll be watching stuff, and I know we've all gotten better at looking at it, and there's so much more out, but man, it feels like we're just getting bombarded with fake shit constantly, where you just go, oh, that's AI. Watch your trailer, that's AI. Skip it. It's so blatant.
And my problem is that it's also getting so good that we're catching 75%, 80% of it. There's still 20% of it that's skipping right past us.
Well, every time I get a bunch of it, we'll start looking up like good AI on YouTube or something, just to see. And there's stuff out there you would never know. I've taken a couple of those AI tests. Most of them pretty good at, but where it'll show like something real and something AI. There's a couple of them out there where I'm nailing the wrong thing almost every time.
Wow.
That's my dating life back when I was in my 20s, and just nailing the wrong thing. Let me see here.
That's
We already talked.
I was being through high school. Who am I joking? That's why I got all these comic.
President Trump, we talked about with the TikTok. Chinese robot maker UBTech is eyeing mass production of industrial humanoids by the end of the year. UBTech will deliver about 500 to 1,000 units of its Walker S series industrial human robots this year to customers and partners, including car makers, Apple supplier Foxconn, and logistics firm SF Express. Chief Brand Officer Michael Tam said in an interview on the sidelines of the recent China conference, while UBTech ultimately aims to bring humanoid robots into every family, industrial robots are the company's major focus right now. So the whole, God, what was that horrible movie? I was going to say horrible movie with Will Smith in it, but that's half of his movies.
I was lately
Robot, yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
I liked the books are so much better though, but
Oh, yeah. Very much so. Was that Arthur C. Clarke or was that Isaac Asimov?
That's Asimov.
That was Asimov. Yeah, the 3 rules. Of course.
Yep.
Let me see here. And okay, the 2 main things I wanted to talk about were DeepSeek and Project Stargate.
Okay.
All right, DeepSeek is, and I'm sorry to those who are tired of AI, but it's all part of our reality now, so get frickin' used to it.
And Berto just about it a minute ago said, checked out the source code on DeepSeek yet.
Oh, I don't have to because the people over at Hugging Face are tearing it apart right now, my man. Anyways, so there's a company, Chinese company, of course, that recently released a version of their AI that they're working on called DeepSeek. They released DeepSeek R, which is, they claim, had the same level of output, the same quality of output, and it's a chain of thought AI, where most AI that people are used to, GPT, generative pre-trained, GPT, ChatGPT 3 and 4 and 2 and stuff like that, your standard large language models, they're not chain of thought ones. Now, GPT 01 and 03 that they've recently come out with, those are chain of thought AIs. And basically what that means is that they don't just like spew something out just like right away, and here it is, and there's lots of hallucinations in it. It will go ahead and it could take up to several minutes, 20, 30 minutes to get, depending on how difficult the question is and how long it takes to answer, because what it does is it uses what's called a chain of thought model, where it goes in and it says, okay, here's my first response to it. Now it uses, another, variation of the AI to come back through and say, okay, is that good? Up, Bob. And so it'll go through and it will error check itself and come out with the best response that it can. And it'll do that multiple times. And that's what they call like a chain of thought. And the only problem with that is that it is extremely power and resource intensive. But it's the most accurate stuff that's out there. And it's just very expensive, per question. Some of those questions, just to answer a question, we're burning up like $2,000 plus worth of energy just to answer one question.
Holy wow! Shit.
Yeah, initially,
but it sounds like it's the future of where we're going with it all, right?
Very much so. So DeepSeek came out, all right, this past weekend, and it just jumped. People were like, it became the most downloaded app on the Apple iTunes Store and stuff like that. So it quickly just jumped. Is so popular that they started limiting the number of people that could sign on to it, because they were just getting bombarded. Their thing was that they were able to have an AI that works as good as GPT-01, which is their first chain of thought model that was available. Works as good as that, and but because of all the sanctions against sending the really good 3-nanometer chips and stuff like that over to China, they can't have any of those, and so they're using lesser equipment and less. They don't have all the resources and all the stuff like that. So their claim was that they were able to get the same level of responses using 95% less resources and energy.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
When
so
you say
that,
no, that's where it stops.
Well, no. See, there right now, people, like I said to Roberto, people at Hugging Face and all these other places and OpenAI, they are tearing into it to find out what's going on. And it turns out they've done some neat, cool things. You know, DeepSeek has done some cool things when it comes to like creating sub-expert AIs. Like instead of using the entire slew of the AI to answer a question, it has like if you're asking questions about comic books, it's not going to use its special coding section, building, code for apps in order to answer this question on comic books. It's going to use a little submodel on comic books. So basically,
and yeah.
Well, no, because it's using the correct one. I swear, I'm just gonna smack you. And it's using all kinds of tricks like that, and it's doing very cool tricks. But also one of the things that recently, the last day or so that's come out is, and it's funny too, is that okay, great, they've got this model that parses the data in a more economical fashion, which is great. And it's an open source model, so everybody else is going to steal it. So rock on. But it also they have figured out that the actual information to use, it stole that straight from ChatGPT. All right. Oh. And so now ChatGPT, who to begin with said, no, anything on the internet is open game, it's not stealing if we use it, is now saying, hey, you used our stuff that was on the internet, that's stealing. So that's fucking funny to me.
From us, it's stealing.
Yeah. If it comes from head, if we're stealing, if we're taking it from them, it's stealing. But if it comes from us, that's just open source. So it's basically turning that, some of the things that they said that they could do, they can do. But some of the things that they claim to be able to do is because they ripped off other people's stuff to use. Now, that being as it was, it still caused such a huge upheaval in the tech industry that NVIDIA, who's the big chip, producer, and who has been winning in the AI game, their stock market share dropped. I think it was like $300 or $400 billion in a couple days. They lost almost half of their market share.
Oh, I was going to say, what was it at before? Holy shit.
Yeah.
So now's the time to buy NVIDIA. We're on their way up.
That's what people are saying. The people in the know that I've been listening to, they said it's this whole panic that's all it is. It's just a panic. They said that would be like if somebody in 1890 came out with a new, more efficient light bulb, and then everybody else said, okay, we don't need electricity anymore. No, you still need the damn electricity. You still need the chips and everything to run everything. Just somebody found a more efficient way to do it. Now, that being said, since DeepSeek is a Chinese company, they have to constrain themselves to all the Chinese stuff. Everything that you're using their DeepSeek model for is directly accessible to the Chinese government. And it's so bad, you can't even ask DeepSeek anything about Tiananmen Square, Taiwan, any of that stuff. It refuses to answer and just ducks around it. And because it's all open source and they did it in such a way that you can actually see what it's thinking, how it's thinking, you can see when you ask it about Tiananmen Square, you can actually see in its thought process, it goes up, no, must constrain to government restraints, and then backs away from
it. Berto had posted NVIDIA was the most valuable company in the world for a little over a month.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is like a lot of the people that I've been listening to, they say, don't take it as financial advice. But after NVIDIA shares dropped as much as they did, they doubled down and bought low. So when it goes back up, they're going to ride that wave.
All those poor people that bought right before it went down. Shit.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's DeepSeek. And then on the flip side, you have Project Stargate. All right. And Project Stargate is this new conglomeration between SoftBank, NVIDIA, OpenAI, and the U.S. government. It's being funded by SoftBank that they're going to spend over the next 4 years $500 billion over the next 4 years to build up AI infrastructure for OpenAI and ChatGPT. So that's going to get a lot faster, a lot bigger, really damn quick. Even more than it is already, because
it's already going so fast I can't keep up with it.
Why does it sound like the beginning of a Terminator movie?
Well, when you throw in those humanoid robots, I think we have a perfect storm.
Didn't they just release a new sex robot like 2 weeks ago too, or companion robot, I should say?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, there was girls like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't about check. 5, 7 cost $2,000 and is arriving Tuesday.
Yeah, don't check my invoices. Don't look at my downloads.
Oh, why would I?
But no. So that's what I wanted to talk about really quick. Is those two things, DeepSeek and Project Stargate. Those things are going to be extremely disruptive really quick, because already, even before the build-up and even before DeepSeek, the new agentic stuff is already starting to slowly come out. And I would be, I am fully expecting by the end of 2025 that, for those willing to pay for it, you're going to be able to have a AI agent that will take most of your online stuff for you.
Berto says NVIDIA current value $3 trillion, down from 5.1 trillion.
Yeah.
See, and Kelly says it's all very scary, and that, I mean, it is. If you're saying shit's going to come out even faster, I mean, for people like me that only casually keep up on it, watching it come out, it's not like I'm sitting here waiting on the next release of something or the next. So when stuff does come out, it's almost like a blind side for those of us that aren't keeping track of it all the time,
Right.
And it's scary.
Yeah, it is scary.
But the thing is that, I've said it before, I'll say it again. You got to ride the waves. All right. You got to take the time. You got to learn the stuff. They want the American public to become conversant with these things. There are lots of free online resources and education and stuff like that you can take to get a little certification and learn more about these things. You don't necessarily have to go and get the paid course. There are free courses out there from major universities so that you can learn about these and not be one of the people that are just completely bulldozed down. I mean, when cars came out, the blacksmiths that turned into auto repair mechanics survived, but the blacksmiths said, no, it's be horses and only horses. They go bye-bye.
Yep. Sorry, I just realized I forgot to share the episode. I'm going to do that real quick.
Yeah,
and
only 53 minutes in.
Holy, yeah, because I was looking at the clock and I was like, oh shit, I had shit to talk about too. But it's all right, I can go through mine pretty damn quick because it's not all great.
Oh, yeah.
I did want to point at the TikTok thing, just because I thought it was, I guess, humorous. You guys saw where, since you can't download the app now,
yeah,
that people are stealing their phones with the apps on them.
No shit.
I mean,
and that's
like getting that's anywhere from $200 to $9,000 for these phones.
That's so stupid because you can sideload them on. If you want to, especially if you have Android. If you have an Android, you go into the developer options and click on the box that says allowed third-party downloads, and then you can just go download the APK from a third-party, a third-party source and put it on your phone. And there's a way that you can. That's a way that you can do it with the Apples as well. It's a little bit more involved, but you can sideload the stuff on there. They're basically making money off of people that don't know how to manage their own equipment. Which
I got an Apple with TikTok on it, but man, it's old enough. I don't think anybody'd want the damn phone. It's like,
I don't know. My boy is like really jonesing for his TikTok, man.
Oh, really? What? Apparently, his dad knows how to get that shit.
Well, yeah, but oops.
Oops. He ain't watching the podcast. That's okay.
Now, one of two things. One, I get more of my boy back instead of him spending hours a day on it, which I could see, on my little reports that I get on my parenting app. Or two, he actually learns how to use his piece of equipment and learns how to sideload something on it.
Yeah.
I mean, when he wanted to get around the parental lockdowns in order to watch porn, he figured out how to download a VPN on that fucker. So get on it.
Call him out, man.
And Daryl's like, which is all right with me.
Hey.
I'm doing the same shit.
No.
No, he's got a sex robot coming down.
That's right.
Yeah. No, in our nice, smaller government nanny state the Republicans have given us.
Sorry, could you repeat? Your mic went underwater for a second.
Our smaller government nanny state that we have now in the state of Kansas, where they decided that adults can't, look at adult material. Yeah, so I found a couple websites that'll still allow you to stream from them.
Oh, there's tons of them out there.
Hey, look at you. Yeah, pay no attention to my robot coming at.
Yeah.
Only for artistic purposes is the only, yeah.
I just wanted to finish the story. I needed to know what happened with the plumber. Did they fix the leak?
Yeah. Well, she got her pizza. She got watertight. That's for sure.
Let's see. I was going to bring up Marvel Rivals and some of the new stuff going on with that, but I figure we can skip that one because anybody who's playing Rivals, feel free to message me. I would love to jump on and play. But I figure all the new stuff coming out. They're on a new release program where they're releasing tons of characters. And for anybody who does play it and you're interested in 3D printing, just about all the models in there, you can go in and get the files and 3D print any character from the game on a 3D printer now. So that's pretty cool.
Well, didn't Gabe have a way of going in and pulling out the 3D model from the game and then printing that off?
Yep, he was doing it with Helldivers too, and he did the helmet. He had to do some redesign work, but and I have not yet done it on Rivals. Gabe was telling me about it, but sure enough, on some of the groups I'm in, people are posting up their prints of their characters. You can just move them around, so you can put them in whatever position you want. So it's kind of nice.
I was watching this really funny guy when it came to painting models. He mostly does just like scale model battleships and stuff like that. And he had gotten and paid good money, like a couple $100 for the scale model of this Russian battleship that never was, that they were going to make but never was. Oh. And he was pointing out that this resin model that he paid money for, that he is 99% sure that the company that made it went online to whatever battleship online game that they have out there that is a multiplayer game that people go on them, that they went online, pulled down the 3D file from that game, and then just re-rendered it and resin printed and charged people $150 for the model.
Yeah, I could easily see that.
Yeah,
but, I mean, in the 3D printer industry, the files. I mean, how many people do we see out there that are just pirating files, reselling them on other sources? I mean, it's fucking everywhere.
Yeah,
real bad news for Warhammer.
3D printers were a bad deal for Warhammer.
Yeah,
but
very much so. No, it's like if I was an unscrupulous individual, those files that I paid high dollar for those ships, have 1/350 scale that you just can't get. I mean, you can't get an Orville model anymore, especially not at 1/350 scale. I could be selling those left and right.
Speaking of which, is there a new season of that going to come out?
Last I heard, they were going to be making one. I haven't been following up on it.
Yeah, I really liked that show. I really did.
It was it was the homage to Star Trek that he wanted.
Yeah. I'm of a minority where I really liked the first two seasons a whole bunch, and then it became Star Trek.
Yes.
Like they pulled some comedy out of it, became Star Trek, And if I'm going to watch Star Trek, I'll watch Star Trek just fine.
Yeah,
But the Orville, I liked the humor in it. And then when it became a knockoff of Star Trek, it's like, now it seems like it just an imitation, you know?
I see your complaint, but also you have to realize that until he did what he until one, he pulled back some of the the Family Guy humor from it, and then he stepped away from having to be the lead of everything, because I'll give this to him, he's used to everything else that he's done, the Family Guys and everything else that he's done 90% of the work. So he's used to having to lead on everything. Once he stepped back and allowed the other actors to flush out their characters, that's when it went from being a show where everybody was like, why are we watching this? We can just watch Family Guy, to something where people were like, okay, this is the Star Trek that we wanted. I'm not sure what the hell Discovery is. This is the Star Trek we wanted.
I will say, I shouldn't have said an imitation. It's more like a love letter to Star Trek.
Yeah.
But really about the time, coincidentally, when Norm Macdonald was no longer on the show because he had passed, that's about the time that I was just like, I don't know, it just didn't hit me the same, to where I was like, oh, I can't wait to watch it. It's like, yeah, it's on, so I will watch it. But
well, I don't know. It's kind of like Archer. Now that the lady who voiced the mom is gone,
yeah,
I don't know if I want to watch it.
Yeah, it
Mallory.
does. It feels. Yeah, anytime they do that, no major character leaves. I shouldn't say anytime. There's plenty of times it's worked out just fine, but sometimes it just pulls a little that heart away from the show.
I mean, what was that? What was that one from when we were little kids? Tim, the cop show.
There were a lot of cop shows from back then.
It had fish in it, and it was where
Barney Miller, yeah.
Barney Miller, that was it. Yeah, it was where Ron Glass got his first big break.
Was it?
That's the first time I remember ever seeing him. Yeah. He was young then, if you remember. The battle they had with the robots was awesome. Yes, very much so, Kelly.
That wasn't on Barney Miller, damn it.
Well, that was in the Lost episode.
There you go.
But I remember in that one when the guy who played the Asian cop, when he died, they did a whole episode that was just an homage to him. They addressed it. I remember as a kid that they addressed it. They said, okay, he passed. We missed him. We loved him. Here's some of, they did a whole episode of here's some of his best moments. And then they carried on without him. But, they lost him and they were able to keep going and still make it great. Although,
Win and Fish were hilarious.
First time I remember him doing something like that was Mr. Hooper on Sesame Street.
Very much so. Mr. Hooper's
weird that the character died in the show.
And they addressed it.
Yes, yeah. I did want to touch on, and I'm going to make this quick because this was the gossip news. Have you guys seen the whole Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Justin Boldani thing?
I have heard stuff on it, but I am off to the side going, I don't really care what the rich people are arguing about.
The biggest problem I have is how it's going to affect Ryan Reynolds with the Marvel movies. Because, and AI got brought into it too, because right in the middle of all this shit, about a week in, everybody's leaking stuff. And for those that are listening, I'm going to make it real quick. The movie ends with us with Justin Boldani and Blake Lively. They got in this big thing where she said that he was sexually harassing her. She tried to take over the movie. There's a whole bunch to it. Come to find out, it sounds like Ryan Reynolds during the writer's strike came in and tried to take over a bunch of stuff, which I can get into the whole debate of it. It is a lot of good, juicy gossip. In the middle of it, people were making AI audio calls. So there's AI audio out there of like Justin and Ryan fighting each other or talking on the phone, but it's all fake. But they were pulling, it's like 67 or 70% of people believed it was real. But in all of it, and the reason I bring it up, because Ryan Reynolds is such a part of the new X-Men with Marvel, in it, supposedly Nice Pool in the Deadpool movie,
yeah,
is based on Justin. It was made to make fun of him.
That's his allegation.
That's the allegation out there.
Yeah.
Correct. Nobody on Ryan's side or Disney's side has addressed it yet.
But my thing is I did not. He said it was to make fun of him. All right. I didn't think that was a character that was being made fun of anything. I thought it was just a diametrically opposed Deadpool.
I didn't until I started watching the reasoning behind it, and it does kind of make sense, especially if you watch some of the deleted scenes that they show. But the whole top bun and the I monetize women's rights and stuff comments, that's all stuff Justin's been accused of. So they playfully jab at it. So it's like the idea is it's just enough jab to make fun of him, but the general public wouldn't get it because they don't know Justin.
Okay. Even if they did, how's that any different than SNL making spoofs of people? It's a parody.
Correct.
I agree with that.
That's what humor is.
Of course,
funny shit.
Of course, right now they're trying to keep Disney from monetizing anything off the character, which I don't see anybody rushing out to buy nice pool action figures or anything. But
the dog, maybe. Nice pool, no.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, out of all the Deadpool variants, I've seen shit for Headpool. I've seen shit for Kidpool. I haven't seen any merchandising for Nice Pool at all. It might be out there. I just don't know. But they're coming after. So Disney's going to come after this. Disney did come out and say that they're planning on working with Ryan still on all the X-Men stuff, and they're looking forward to all this shit in the future.
But at the end or beginning of that movie, don't they have the little clause that says any characters in this show that are seem like they're based on someone else, it's just a coincidence, la 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 la.
Yeah, standard boilerplate.
And even if they didn't have that, I mean, look at the other Deadpool movies. How many people did they make fun of, including Hugh Jackman, in those? And that Hugh Jackman was working for well, I guess he was working for Sony at the time. So, but I don't know. I see it as a big nuts and sandwich, but it has put halting on anything Ryan Reynolds is producing for Disney right now. And also, I guess he might lose his, I can't remember what it is. I don't have it in front of me. Supposedly a big part of the argument with the movie, with This Ends With Us, is Blake Lively wrote a scene for the movie that she wanted used. And there was a big debate on whether it was getting used or not. And part of it did get used. Now, after weeks of all this drama, come to find out, it sounds like Ryan might have wrote it during the writer's strike. And because of his standing in the writers union, it's highly against the law if he wrote it. So he could lose some kind of ability to, I guess, write for Disney right now over the whole deal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. But here's the thing, is that Disney has been sliding down the drain when it comes to putting money into production and not getting money back. And they liked that sweet, sweet Deadpool nectar that they got. So
best thing Marvel in a while.
Yeah, so they will find a way.
I agree.
Will find a way for him to do it, even if it's something as simple as we're paying you to do this, and there's going to be somebody standing next to you writing down everything that you have, conscious thought, verbal diarrhea on, and we'll run with that. They'll figure out a freaking way to not this.
Can't he just give suggestions to a ghostwriter and a ghostwriter write for him?
Well, I think that was the idea with Blake, and I do not know all the ins and outs on it, but I think that was the idea with Blake, because somehow since Blake was in the movie, she could write for the movie. So that's kind of what he did, but now it comes out that he probably actually wrote it.
See, to me, this is like the same thing, like when people, like with the sports and the Chiefs. All right, the Chiefs, they're handing it to them and all this crap like that. I don't care. It's millionaires. It's millionaires playing a children's game, all right, and making buku money on it. I don't give a shit. And
I think this lawsuit is like $400 million right now.
Yeah. That's what they're going for. That doesn't mean they're going to get a single damn dime.
Well, yeah.
We're talking Disney lawyers. Disney lawyers, if they want to, they have so many politicians in their pockets, they will have a new law made in order to make everything legal for them.
Well, and two, after the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing, the thing that the wife and I keep thinking is you're watching all these YouTubers that covered the Amber Heard shit and made bank because they got all these subscribers and all this, and they made tons of bank. So now they're seeing the opportunity like, oh, this could be our next one. And you hear it referenced, Amber Heard referenced all the time with the Blake Lively stuff now. And to be honest, I would rather none of it happen because I just hate Ryan Reynolds, damn it. And I hate seeing any of this. You can take Blake, you can take Justin, but leave Brian alone, damn it. But yeah, so all these YouTubers are just, I mean, they will report on any rumor, drop of a hat on anything. Even the ones that knew the AI stuff that came out was fake. Then they, of course, are just reporting on how it's fake and how it's horrible that people are doing that and trying to monetize and make money off of hits for that shit. Meanwhile, they're all doing it. And I get it. We're talking about it right now, too. But it's...
No, you are. I'm not. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, it's a shit.
It is.
Hey, I tried to make it quick, but it is something that's going to possibly affect any good Marvel movies we're going to get for a little while, because I'm not looking forward to much. Even the new Captain America movie that we were going to watch a trailer for, I'm struggling to
find interest. Yeah, that's the way I am.
Let's see. Berto says he needs to be sacrificed to the devils. Let me see here.
He's canceled. You are forbidden to speak of him. Nah, he's up there with James Gunn. He'll be fine.
Yeah, James Gunn got canceled for like 3 months. He's fine.
Yeah. Now
he's producing some good shit though. So
yeah, and trust me, I mean we've all been scarred too many times to think that any celebrity is clean and not human, except for Dolly Parton. She's a saint, and we should all bow down to her. Dolly Parton rocks. Other than that, now they're human.
How many times has Jimmy Carr been canceled?
Never, I don't think. Has he? Has he been actually canceled?
God, he said one time, he said, I lost track.
I figured you just look at Jimmy Carr and go, but that's Jimmy. And
he has put so much stuff out there. When he literally puts stuff out there going, here, use this to cancel me, and then comes up with the most outlandish shit, you can't touch him because he doesn't give a shit. He's waiting to be canceled. It's kind of like Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. Yep. Bill Burr is another great example. Yep. People like that, they're going to have to like touch a kid or something to get canceled. Like it's going to have to be something that people go, yeah, no, everybody's against that.
Yeah.
But just blowing up that joke or some shit,
that's what they're known for.
Yeah, I think, Louis C.K., even before he did get in trouble for jerking off, he did that whole touching kid joke thing on the opening for SNL. And people tried to cancel him over that. And it was graphic. It was funny as fuck, but
come on, The Rock on SNL. I love that skit of his where there was the evil scientist meeting where they tried to come up with the most evil invention, and his was a child raping robot. Remember that one?
Yeah. Yep. Sorry, I was reading Kristen's comment here on the legal stuff. And Kristen, I've been watching a lot of that stuff too, and unfortunately, it changes a lot.
See, that's the problem. If we watch them, it gives them the viewer count, and then they will continue to report on it. So,
but I am interested in it because it is affecting how quickly we will be getting all this X-Men stuff from Marvel.
Then my suggestion to you is to find yourself a nice news aggregate. Like I use Flip or someone, I use several different news aggregates. Find yourself a nice news aggregate and then read the stories. Because if it's only getting movement on print and not on videos, then the video people will move away from it.
Yeah, see, that's a lot of work for me to do.
I know. Letters make words, more words make sentences. I know. It's difficult.
I know. Well, it bothers me enough to talk about it, but it doesn't bother me enough to change the way I do shit. If we don't do more good Marvel movies, then we just don't. But it is affecting that, so I like to keep up on it.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, we know how these cycles work. And now that they've gotten good money from the Marvel movies, even if they stop it for 10 years or so, 10 or 20 years, and don't make any Marvel movies, these companies, excuse me, these companies will hold on to that IP and they'll wait for then the next generation, the generation beta to come out. Ooh, that's a bad name for them. The generation Bravo to come out. And when the generation Bravo comes out, then they're going to dust off that shit and pump it through the pipeline again. So we're going to get some really good Marvel movies when we are in our retirement facilities.
We're going to get Marvel movies. We don't know if they're going to be good, because I will use the same example of Phase 1 compared to Phase 4 of Marvel is
I agree.
Then they had fans writing the shit. They let comic book writers get involved. The producers and the directors were comic book fans. Now it's, hey, you just directed this really great DEI movie over here. Let's get you to direct the next one.
You are right.
You have no experience or don't love the comics.
You are absolutely right, and I'm taking that into account. RoboCop also spawned.
The only thing you need a fucking hey, you're getting both new RoboCop and new Spawn. So
I think you'd only be happy if they one time made a Roberto Cop. Anyway, Roberto Cop. No, but what I'm taking into account is you're going to have that period where it dies down and no one's interested in it, and it is pariah to touch it. All right, and then you're going to have the diehard fan who watched all this stuff when he was, 10 or something like that right now. And then now he's going to be 30, years old, 20 years, and he's going to go, no, I'm going to remake it, and I'm going to make it the way it should be. And then you're going to have that really great couple fan ones that come out, and then we're going to be able to watch those in the retirement facility, and just as they peak and start to fall off again, we're going to die, and we don't have to watch that rest of that shit come up another time.
Yeah. See, and that's my thing, is that 30-year-old or whoever it's making it, he's going to go, and it's going to be like it should be, like back when I was 20 years old, 10 years ago, which is the shit they're putting out now that I don't like.
No.
So it's about the shit I don't like.
No, we're going to have to watch Uncle Ben die again another 3 or 4 times. All right?
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. No, origins.
No, that's what's going to have to happen. They're going to dust it all off again. It's all going to be origin stories again. It's going to be, it's going to be the parents in the alley getting gunned down. All right. And we're going to get all these things again because they can't come up with anything new anymore.
Berto says, nope, slowly being transformed into RoboCop. And I was going to say, he's already got the robotic legs. Probably Cable with my budget. Yeah, I'll give you not as good as RoboCop.
Cable's a fucking badass.
Oh, we don't have enough time on this podcast for me to get into that argument with you. Let's talk some comic books. So I can,
I'm going to jump straight from Cable to Lobo. But
and Lobo's much better and been around longer than Cable too.
Yeah. But Cable's still cool, man.
He can be. So I don't know.
Look,
a whole long story. So
by the time we finally get my Spider-Man 2099, it's gonna be 2099. All right.
Hey, they had him in the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, which I thought it was a cameo. It's a cameo. We got Spider-Pig. We got Spider-Pig, but we didn't get a whole Spider-Pig movie.
No, true. He was a side character. But, the thing is, if you want a good Spider-Man movie with Spider-Man 2099, Spider-Man 2099 needs to be better character. I mean, he's just not a great character. So that's my personal.
That's fine. Like, you're allowed to believe that.
I know. Trust me, I hear about Longshot all the time, so I can pass.
Who?
Longshot. Who? Longshot, one of my favorite characters. Matter of fact, he's the guy everybody thought Cable was related to because he was the really cool one that Cable stole his fucking flashy eye from. Don't get me started on this shit. All right. So, we're way past now. We should probably tie this up.
Wasn't that the one that Colin Firth played? Whatever his name was? In the Daredevil movie?
Colin Firth was in the Daredevil movie?
No, it was some Colin dude. Some.
Oh, no, you're talking Bullseye.
Yeah, Bullseye. That's who you mean, right? Bullseye.
What was a really cool version of Bullseye. I really like that one in the Ben Affleck movie. He was the best part of that whole Ben Affleck movie. Yeah, I think.
You want to see Juan get mad, Daryl? Ain't Longshot the guy that deals the cards?
Yeah. Yeah, he deals with your all right.
I never understood the appeal of that Cajun twat waffle. I never.
Gambit literally is a long shot ripoff. That's why I get mad. He replaced long shot in the comics, and they literally they just took a whole bunch of long shot elements and said, we're going to throw it into this Cajun guy now and have it, because long shot wasn't actually a mutant, but Gambit is. So, yeah. Anyhow.
But anyway.
Moving right along.
Cable is a robot, is RoboCop 2 from the show, a cheaper RoboCop. Okay.
Yeah, we should probably start tying this up because it's 20 after, and we have to go feed a kitten. But I know we were gonna do. We want to do that Captain America real quick, or
I've got it loaded up if we want to.
Okay, it's only like a minute and a half, and I haven't seen this one yet. We've just been told it's good, so we're gonna check it out.
Make sure the suit's ready. Captain America, we're on different sides. Time to work together. If we disagree on a solution, we'll figure it out together. Make sure the suit's ready. The country is on the brink of war.
Like
what it is and how to stop it. Work with me, Sam. The country needs Captain America. The world is fractured. Governments are failing. Stand by for proof of death. It's time for a new order. You tore the Avengers apart. Earth changed, really changed. Adamantium is in the wrong hands. It's my job to fix it. You want me? Come and get me! I don't want a variable out there that I can't control. We don't fight for ourselves. We fight for the world we want to leave behind.
Okay.
Well, that was disappointing. It lagged so much we couldn't see it here. We saw some stills.
I don't know. You're that disappointed. I thought the hue was off on my TV for a minute. I'm like, hold on. The Hulk is red and Captain America's black. What the hell? No.
Been a while since you watched Marvel.
No.
Yeah.
I heard that all the way in here.
She heard my faux pas. No, it's I don't know. It just seems so CGI.
I don't know about Harrison Ford playing Red Hulk. I just don't think he's got that I stab you in the back asshole fucking arrogance about it.
Yeah. Well, they have, what's his name? Why is my mind going blank? That was playing him. William Hurt. Damn it, William Hurt.
Yeah, I thought he would have been great.
I don't know. I never really got on board with him as Ross.
Well, go back to God, who was the bad guy in the One Incredible Hulk? Couple of movies back, the Ang Lee one. Who was the bad guy in the Ang Lee one?
Oh, it was kind of Absorbing Man. They mixed characters together for that one.
Nick Nolte.
Nick Nolte, the actor. Yeah.
Yeah. So, either him or he could have been, or someone like him could have been better. Or God, what's Gary Busey?
Well, they had
Gary Busey. Yeah,
I believe General Ross in the Ang.
If we're dusting off old white guys, let's go with Gary Busey.
I believe General Ross in the Ang Lee one was played by Sam Elliott, I think. But I couldn't see Sam Elliott.
I can't, no.
Kelly says the movie looks like shit.
Yeah.
Kristen says, already heard some of the feedback on it, and this is bad.
Oh,
and that
you want to talk bad. You want to talk bad. We're taking up more time. Screw it. I watched Section 31 this weekend.
Oh, no, wait, really?
Terrible.
Oh, dang it. I thought it looked like it might be good, but...
No. I literally, I watched, and I watched a whole bunch of reviews on it. Not a single person, professional critic or just YouTuber, nobody has said anything. The best thing that has been said about this movie is is that it has so little Star Trek in it, you can almost forget it's a Star Trek movie.
No, I felt that way about a lot of Star Trek stuff recently.
No,
like this completely.
Not only you fucking around with time travel, but you're fucking around with multidimensional too.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
And
Yeah.
Trek's always fucking around with that, though.
basically what they did is they took something that was
it's
going to
so
be a
fun.
series. They took something that was going to be a series. They took the first 2 episodes of that series, jammed them together into a 90-minute movie. And you know you're already in for a bad time when the movie's only 90 minutes long. All right? Made a 90-minute movie out of it. And from what I understand, they really wanted to jump on Michelle Yeoh, who just recently won her Oscar. So they wanted to jump onto that momentum and ride, her notoriety and tidal wave. Oh my God, it was so bad.
What I hear is that almost all the budget went to her. Is what it sounds like.
And including getting a halfway decent director. I mean, I think whoever directed this had only done Dorito commercials or some shit. It was horrible.
I've seen some good Dorito commercials.
Yeah,
Berto says,
because you had 30 seconds.
Berto says, I'm sorry you didn't deserve that. No one deserves Section 31.
Yeah.
And the Brave New World, I was going to say, it looks like what I've been seeing doesn't look great. And you got to think they've already done
Strange
so
New
many.
Worlds?
Huh?
Strange New
Brave
Worlds?
New World. Brave New World. The trailer we just watched.
Oh, that
Captain
one.
America.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Nah.
The one we were talking about.
I didn't even catch the name of it. I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's right. They shit. What was I gonna say? Oh, they've already refilmed most of that movie. This is after multiple test screenings. They've gone in and done reshoots after reshoots after test screenings after reshoots. So this is the best they could make out of the shit show they had.
Didn't that happen with the Elementals?
Oh, the Eternals.
The Eternals, whatever the fuck they were.
Yeah, and the Eternals didn't come out so great either. And even now, like with the What If and everything, they struggle like crazy to try to keep the Eternals storyline in canon because they just went too big and bold with it, thinking it was going to be the big next leap off thing. Nobody gave a shit. And so now they're always trying to explain this giant fucking Eternal in the or Celestial in the ocean.
Yeah.
And it's just
it sticks out so freaking far. It's like the space station is grazing it in low Earth orbit. I mean, it's just stupid.
I will say Captain America, I think it's one that they're going to have to stumble through and hope that Thunderbolts does really good after it. And that's what brings about. Thunderbolts does look good. I thought it was going to be horrible, and it looks good.
You know what I would love? Now, this is just me thinking, just me spitballing here. I would love if they Pacific Rim that fucking Celestial, and you just had people out there harvesting bits off of the creature. All right, and because it's basically Marvel's kaiju. All right.
Yeah.
And there's no reason we can't have Ron Perlman out there harvesting bits off of it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's what Marvel needs. It needs a little Ron Perlman.
Yeah,
that.
Yeah. Yeah, besides their misuse of him in Blade.
Him and Blade? Oh, yeah. Well,
Blade 2. Yeah.
Marvel didn't make those. Marvel Studios didn't exist when Blade came out. So they can't get blamed
for that.
But
you still say that Blade was a Marvel character.
Yeah, it was a Marvel character, but then again, sort of
a Marvel movie.
Yeah,
but it's just not Marvel cinematic. Although you can't say now it is because Blade has been in the Deadpool movie.
Well, see, it's a Marvel character and it's a Marvel movie, but it's not a Marvel Studios movie. Because Marvel Studios was created back when Jon Favreau and did right after he did Iron Man or technically before, but
I'm so grateful for the Ben Affleck Daredevil. Because it made the next Daredevil look so good. You know what I'm saying?
The thing I'll give Ben Affleck Daredevil, the outfit, the Daredevil outfit, was fucking awesome. Yeah, it looked really good.
What I will never forgive the Ben Affleck Daredevil for was greenlighting Elektra.
Yeah, oh God, that was...
Elektra had so much potential, but lost it all.
I don't even know
on Gardner. Nothing on Gardner. She's a great actor.
Well, Elektra in the comic book was cool.
No, the character's cool.
Yeah, the kid I'm talking about.
I'm just saying, because it's because of that movie that I coined my term chick foo. All right? Because
chick foo.
She was either kicking ass or crying. There was no in between.
Well, and of all the Daredevil and Elektra storylines that they could pull out of, or create something new, the fucking story in that, it's literally like somebody just took little bits of different stories and said, throw it all in a bucket, stir it up, and make a script out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, of all the good material that was already out there they could have pulled from, they literally just like randomly grabbed shit. It just, it's horrible.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
yeah, we're at 8:30. Yep, it's time to, I think it's 8:30. Yep.
Time to package up this turd and flush it.
It's nice talking to you. Nice talking to everybody else too. It's
Very
always
much
good seeing
so.
that stuff.
We will talk again
I will,
next week when we will eventually be bowing down to our future AI overlords.
yeah, and Pirate Fest was a big hit last weekend.
Oh,
We
was
saw
it?
Pictures or talk. It went great.
Yes, God, I wish we could have made it.
We would. Yeah, it would have been great to go. It looked like it was a freaking blast.
Well,
Jake did again.
Yeah.
We need to actually next week. We need to actually talk about some conventions on ConCast.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
All right.
So,
we will talk at you all next Wednesday.
all right, sounds good. Hugs and kisses.
Love you. See you. Bye.
Peace, love, chicken grease.
And we are stopping.